Hello everyone, this is Enayat Meer. I am back for part 3, or you could say exercise 3 for a server administration. So during my this video I will also write down my steps on a Word document in order to cover those viewers who are not using audio system. In this way you can cover both sides. So let's start with server management part. So I am showing you here how to manage server or managing servers. So currently you could see me on a Windows Server 2012 core operating system. So this is not a GUI operating system. So you could see my server and the command prompt, and I will be actually switching between multiple servers. So I have another server also running on, and you will basically gonna see two or most likely three servers which I'm switching between. So currently you are looking at LON-DC1. This is my domain controller, or I do have an active directory on this server. So I am on a dashboard of this LON-DC1, and meanwhile while I am browsing between multiple servers, I will let you know which I am on. So currently I am using LON-DC1. So I'm going to create a server group, which you see here. Actually I have created this before, which I named it lab-1, so which contains two servers, LON-core and LON-SV3, and you make sure that you have these servers. What you see on under lab1 are members of this domain. So this server is supposed to be a member of domain, which in my previous lab I joined these both servers to adatom.com domain. So currently these are the domain members. So here you can simply highlight these servers, and the group, the purpose of the group is that you can select them and look at the performance counter if you want to look them, and also you basically can add roles and features, which I am going to show you how to install roles and features on these two servers in lab dash group. So you can check, as I said, that you can simply right click on that, you can start performance counter, and you can scroll back up, and if you want to install any role remotely from this server. So I'm actually on LON-DC1 and having this lab-1 actually a server group. From that group I can add multiple servers. Currently I have only 2 members, but you can add multiple servers. Once you add those servers, then individually you can go on to that servers one by one, and you can add roles and features on that one. So here we are going to install first on non-GUI, which is LON-core excuse me, which is not actually a GUI operating system, which I installed in my exercise 2. So I'm gonna install, actually gonna select one of those two. I'm gonna install first Windows backup feature. I can also install IIS. So here you can see that if the server is online or offline. So LON-SVR1 is online, so I can add role or feature from here remotely. So I'm adding remotely without going into that server. So you're gonna click on a role based or feature based installation. That is actually selected by default. So click on the next, and from that point you will see if you want to install a role or feature, but you have to pick up actually those which server you want to, which actually have those three in my list. So I will choose LON core only, which is a domain member. From here you have all available roles in this screen, so you can scroll down and pick up the role you want to install. If you don't want to install a role, you simply have to click on next button. Currently I am going to choose IIS because I want to make this application server as well, and also I want to use a Windows backup feature. So you will see I'm going to install a Windows backup feature as well on core first, and then I will perform same on my other server, which is another member server, SVR3. Excuse me. So here is the feature which I showed you before in my first exercise, that you can add also from PowerShell. You can also view installed features or roles actually from your Windows PowerShell, or you also look at the PowerShell commands as well. So by typing simply get dash command, so hit enter, you will see a long list of PowerShell commands, and you also can look at those installed features or roles command. Right from those commands you can pick one. So here I am looking at the features and roles, or the role services. If I have to install some role services, which you can install actually once you have a role available. So these are the role services after having a role available, which is IIS. So I am choosing here Windows Authentication, which is a role service, and you click on next, and you can simply review here. If you want to reboot your computer, it doesn't have to reboot actually if it's not required. So if you can check the box on the top, restart the destination server automatically if required. So if required means if required, so if means if, so there's a condition. So if it's required, it will install. So certain roles require a reboot. Excuse me. And you can actually check that option. If it is required, yes, of course it will reboot, and once you come back you can log in back, and then it will do a post installation part. So currently I'm doing this application server part, like I'm adding IIS, Internet Information Services. I'm also adding a Windows backup feature. So that feature, as I said, that you can use a get dash command and to install those one. Through get dash command commands, you can see if it's not installed, you will see a cross on it if it's not installed, and if it's installed it will let you know that it is installed. See a checkbox over there. So currently I am done with installation of Windows server backup and IIS on LON dash core operating system. So now this is a GUI operating system, which is a domain member LON-SVR3. The method is same. You simply have to choose that server name and you click on install roles and features. Now you will see again a list of servers what you have available in your dashboard. So you will choose here whichever server you want to choose, and in this case I am choosing LON-SVR3, and I am going to install here again features and role. So which if I need to. So here if you don't want to install something which you don't want to, you don't have to actually, so you can skip that. So I skipped here IIS. I am using only Windows server backup feature at this time on LON-SVR3, and as I said that if you want to check the restart option, you can check. It will not restart if it is not required. So if it is required, it will reboot automatically and you can come back and log in. So here you see that the managing servers remotely. So what you do here, you simply have to first create a group. From that group you can add servers. Once you add servers in the group, you from the search window, from the server right on the top right from here, and once you find those servers whichever are your domain members, then you simply can go and add roles and add features, and then you can actually verify. So I'm adding a WordPad as well within it, so in this way you can see that what roles or what services I am adding. So if you see this window or this kind of window here, so that's mean I'm switching back and forth between multiple operating systems or multiple computers. So I'm switched back to my non-GUI operating system, which initially I showed you that it's the core operating system, so which I showed you here, managing servers part on that one. Here I'm basically going to use a netshell command for enabling a remote media from my core operating system. So you saw that one. So in other words, we are actually reviewing those settings or services or change. We are going to change and changing actually service setting. So that the command was the netshell command which I ran actually. That was actually a service change command where you enable a remote desktop option through the command prompt. So now I'm switching back and forth between multiple servers here, and now you are looking for computer management on LON. This is on the server name right on the top over here, and so you have your LON core and LON DC1 or LON SVR3. Those are multiple servers which we are actually running and showing those option of those servers. So here you have a services, then you will see that which service is running. You also can type actually services.msc, and that also will show you that which service is running or not running. So if you make any change, you have to actually reboot and come back after you reboot, and some basically services change require a reboot also. So because I'm working on multiple computers, so whichever server requires a reboot, I am rebooting on that one. So I'm checking out here a worldwide web publishing service properties, and here you can see that where you can automatically enable, start and stop any service. You go here, that's where you actually set up automatic start, and if it's started, it will see you will see a grayed out actually sign on top of it. If you want to run any application with any service, so you can actually set up a service account in Active Directory and set up from the log on tab, which we are not doing at this moment. When we go into Active Directory exercise, we will do that one. And these are the recovery option, common options, which we are looking at right now. And you don't need to change actually if we don't have to. So I'm just this is just a review that or reviewing that one, and you can actually restart the service from all task as well. You right click on the service and go to all task and restart, or you can go to general tab and you can restart. So you can also do this from the command line. You have some other ways as well on the way. When we go, actually I will show you couple of more ways so how we can deal with that one. So it's just a review right now. You're looking at some screens or reviewing some screens on that one, and this was the services window. And again you can use the same window. You can see the same window, just only you can type services.msc. So I'm gonna stop this video at this moment, and then I will come back for the last part, so where we will see the completion of that video, but I'm gonna add that into the same video. And this is the last part of that exercise exercise 4, in other words I'm showing you here about Windows PowerShell. So we're gonna use Windows PowerShell to manage servers. Couple of commands you will see I'm going to run, and you may or may not match whatever I have in my labs, because I may customize few steps here, and you may or may not do the same, but you can use any of the operating systems here. You have to clearly use one of those 3 operating systems, and currently from the local server you can see I'm on L1-DC1, and where I see my 2 members, L1-core on and L1 SVR3. So from here you can launch a PowerShell remotely. So in this way you can tell so which server you are on and which server you are launching in. From here you can also see that host name. If you want to type a host name, you will see that which server you are on, or you have to remember which server you went into, and you can certain features you cannot use, but most of them you can use. So on the top left side you can actually see it that you are on L1-core, but you are launching it from L1-7. So here import module server manager, so which you can GUI using GUI method you can use actually this directly going into the server manager. So currently you are in actually server manager module. So here you can use Windows features commands, or you can see that get-windows feature will tell you what features you have installed and what we don't have, and I showed you before, so you can use this feature, this command, to look at installed or not installed features. So here you will see installed features will show you a small prompt in it across. It will tell you what is installed, what is not, and we actually have installed Windows server backup feature. Of course you will see that one. So this command will provide installed and not installed features. So we are using that command right now, and I will show you a couple of more commands which also can show you running services. That is actually my next commands, which I can show you that what services we are running. So just browse around a little bit on this screen or this window. So you can see on the left, in the middle, and at the last column, 3 columns you can see here, and then they will tell you from the left side which service is right there available, which is not available, which was removed, and what is the feature name actually, and what is the feature state. So if you see on the top 4th row, that will tell you Windows Server Backup, and that says installed. On 3rd one from the top right column also will tell you. That is showing you I'm reading those commands here. And now command for running services. So I'm showing you another get dash a service command we have to use here, pipe, because we're going to use a where dash object command, and you can actually use that very famous word is a $_dot status. So you can use minus eq for equal. What equal you want to see stopped or running. So here you are looking for that if any service is running, I want to see that one. So you are putting a condition and you want to look at running services. So in definitely a small typo, let me fix that typo, and then the next one I will show you the list of processes on this server. So that will be the next one. Here I'm just fixing my typos. So you have to be very careful when you type. Definitely everyone does mistakes. So if you do a small mistake, definitely you will see that there is a mistake and command is not working. Some brackets, basically if you forget, you forgot a comma, you forgot a space, and you have to suffer, and you have to look at back where you did a mistake. And now you see the status and name and the display name of running services only, because we put a condition, so we want to see only running services. So you are able to see only running services, and that is the command, and that is the right command where you can see that one. If you want to see processes, and you can see the processes as well, that is very simple. You simply have to just type a get dash process, and it will show you the processes, and whichever server you are on right now, you can look at that. And the good thing is that in the future I will show you, you also can see running services or processes on a remote computer right from this computer. So here you are on, for example, on L1-D7 or L1-core, and you want to see a remote server, and you want to see its processing is running processes or services, so you can see that one. But here I am showing you only basics, so we're not going into much details here, but we're gonna keep it straight and simple. So here I'm showing you list of processes. I'm typing in it as well, in case if you are just watching, not listening. So I mean, I always assume that nobody has perfectly audio setup as well. So I do both things. Either I use a Word document and I type stuff on the Word document, or I can use my command prompt, or I can use my PowerShell. But here is a simple get dash process. You will see all running processes. Very simple and easy command to remember. And also you can look at your IP addresses. So if you want to review the IP addresses assigned to your computer, you can see that one. And that also again, so that goes with the net IP address command. And you can use look at a different format. So here get dash net IP address, and you can again pipe it to look at the format, which format you want to look at actually. So it will show you the format. So here you can see your index. You are familiar with the index numbers. Also you did sconfig command in the core before, which is in my first video, and you saw that one. And here you can see the prefix, you can see the suffix, you can see the address state and active store, and currently you see here IPv4 and IPv6 addresses, and you also can see a loopback addresses here. And then if you want to look at event log, security, you want to see like an older one or newer one or top 10, you have options right from there. So here I can show you event security event log, which is on under your event viewer. If you want to go directly GUI way, you can see then. So here you are looking for a recent item in the security, like at the top 10 or newest 10 at the top. So you can go to event viewer and you click on the security event, and you can see on the top right side on 10 current event. So here I'm showing you through the command line. So security events, 10 newest one, in other words. So those are the same as you go into your event viewer and you look at those 10 new events, and that you can see that one. So now also the rest of the part is that how to remotely add roles or features using a PowerShell or new features. So here you can use F7 command on the keyboard. So I'm hitting F7, F as in Frank, and number 7, which will give you all history of the previous commands what you used on your PowerShell or command prompt. So if you are doing something and you don't want to go out of it and you want to stay within that window, you simply have to go hit F7 on the keyboard, and you will see the history of all commands you had recently. So you simply scroll up or scroll down if you want to use history. So without typing you can go back. So here I'm in a PowerShell again on L1-DC1 in PowerShell window. Again I'm using the import module command. As I said before, I used it and I'm using it again, and again I'm going into server manager. So you will see that it is self-explanatory whatever I'm showing you here, but you also can view it on the WordPad or Notepad, or you can read from my PowerShell. I'm putting here. So let's verify XPS viewer is not installed. So here you can look at the local PC, or you can look at the remote. So I'm looking for SVR3 right now. So I'm looking at that if XPS is installed or not. If it's not, yes, of course you can simply can go and install, and you can use as I said before that we are not going into much detail, but still I can show you minus computer name command from here. So you can do it from L1 DC1 to L1 SVR3. You simply have to add a minus computer name and then computer name command to install a feature on that computer. So here we are going to install XPS viewer feature from L1-DC1 to L1-SVR3, which is another computer. So this is the command minus computer name, and then put the computer name. Simply you have to put get-windows feature. So that get-windows feature following the feature name, and then space minus computer name space, and then computer name itself. So here you see XPS viewer. So here it says available XPS viewer. I'm just highlighting it to show you the current state. So this is the list what you are looking at right now. So now you are looking at the install Windows feature. So you can use a get-windows feature, and that will tell you what you have in that remote computer, and then you can switch or change from get-windows feature to install-windows feature again. If you do a typo, you will see that some red writing on your screen. So you can go back and look at that where you did a mistake, and then once you install, then you can go back to get-windows feature. So install will install, and then get-windows feature will tell you that if it is installed now or not. So currently when we used a get-windows feature, it tells me that there is no cross on XPS viewer. Now I'm installing it because I'm using an install -windows feature. So this blue reply on my PowerShell actually gives you indication that yes, you are succeeded or you are succeeding. So now if I go back to my F7 command to bring my history back, you can use an up arrow or down arrow to look at that. I'm using my up arrow and down arrows to look at my previous command, and now I'm looking at the very last command, and you can see that now my get-windows feature command shows me that yes, XPS viewer is now installed. So now we just verified that we remotely installed from L1 DC1 sitting from here and just using a minus computer name command. You just don't have to put minus computer name, you have to put get-windows install-windows feature, not with S, Windows feature, and then you have to put a minus computer name with space, and then you have to put a real computer name, and then you will see that you have this actually installed. So this is your administration tool or administrative tool in your Windows Server 2012, and you simply can find literally everything under your tools. So where you can see whatever you have feature or role installed on your PC, you will be able to see it. So here I'm opening up a PowerShell ISE. ISE is a integrated scripting environment. So now we are using it from tools menu, PowerShell ISE, which you have available under your GUI way, and this is a little bit advanced, or for those advanced users who actually know a little better about programming or the PowerShell or VB, because it just gives you some pre-populated commands which you can use, actually enter or space to get those commands. So I'm going to run those commands now for you. So I'm using again import module server manager, and here you see that these pop-ups coming up. So you don't have to type in PowerShell ISE, you simply have to see that is available. Just have to select right from drop down or whatever is populated. So this list will tell you. So you are actually looking at Windows Internet Naming Service, WINS, which is actually now getting obsolete for Windows Server 2012. Most likely we should not use it, and we're not using it, but because just to show you, this is just a demo, or for demo purposes we are going to install a Windows feature which is WINS. And you are installing on L1 SVR3, then also I'm showing you how to install on SVR L1-core. So you are installing on both SVR3 and L1 core in order to so I'm changing computer name L1-core, and then you basically can see on both you are installing WINS WINS feature. On the top you will see that the progress report 86% done. So installation is in the progress. Just for those who are not using audio, F5 will refresh, or also to play means like to run the script. If you have this script available, and you can save this script with F5 as well. You have basically save icon on the top. In the ISE also, you see on the top window here you have a save icon, or F5 also save with the PS1 is the extension of the PowerShell, and you're gonna use the name install wins.ps1 as a name if you want to save that one. So on the top here the save. So PS is a PowerShell. So we went now through a couple of things on this second exercise, and it was a little browse around for the PowerShell, and as you see that you installed couple of things. You went through the backup feature, you went through some other roles and features, you did IIS, and you also used a very little Windows PowerShell ISE. So here I'm showing you a couple of things here you can browse around, and because we are not using this very much at this moment, at the end we have actually several separate PowerShell exercises, and we have a lot of pre-populated PowerShell scripts as well. So you will use that one in other labs, okay. but here this is a kind of a notepad where you can use copy and paste, and you can add steps here, you can write steps here, and then this notepad you can save as an PS1 option. Like an PS1 is extension which becomes file extension. So these are the commands which I am adding on this notepad. So now, in other words, I'm just finalizing this video here. We use PowerShell to perform remote installation of features on multiple servers. So not on the one server, we are using actually multiple. Means if you use more than one, that's mean we're using multiple. And this is a demo of the file saving as in a PowerShell. You can save install wins.ps1, for example, just a name. Under you can create any folder, and under that folder you can create this, you can save this actually file, and this will be a PowerShell file. You can actually run that also from the command line with the / dot. We will do later on, but at this time actually I'm just showing you here how we did this all work, how we saved this all work, and that was the basically work which I was trying to show you here. And I think we are good for this first exercise for this module number 1. And if you still want to use a PDF, please download PDF. And if you don't have PDF, you can see on the header of this video, you can email me. So you have my email address there, and we can talk. So I hope that this all could be helpful for you, and if you still have an issue or any trouble, let me know. And again, you may not see exactly what you have in your environment at this time, but if you want to follow along, you can do it. The best way is that you should have a VMware or Hyper-V, and otherwise you can browse and look for my other videos which will show you how to set up your own Hyper-V, or we can discuss about it. And again, this is Enayat Meer. Thank you very much for watching this video. I'll see you in my next video.